Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 12, National Football League. Thursday night football gets it all kicked off in the Week 12 action as the New Orleans Saints travel to Atlanta to take on their divisional rivals, the Atlanta Falcons, in a little bit of NFC South family business. What happens in the family stays in the family. You know how it goes when it's family business. Throw the records out of the window. Mano y mano. I know you. You know me. Whoever out executes the other person is going to win the football game. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes and turnovers and scores touchdowns, not field goals, is going to win the football game. And so I couldn't have been more wrong about how this game was going to play out. Now, I got the outcome right, and that's all that matters. I don't care about the score. That's why I didn't give a score in the preview for this game. But I couldn't have been more wrong about the way this game was going to unfold. I said that this is going to be a beatdown. The Saints were going to go into Atlanta, take care of business, and this was going to be eventless, and it was going to be very painless and quick. They were going to go in, beat them up, put them and lay them down early, and move on and get ready for that huge Monday Night Football matchup against Seattle. That's what I thought was going to happen. But again, as we all know, it's family business. And I said that in the preview as well, though. Said that on Wednesday. I said the same thing on Thursday. Wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons showed up, had a little bit of pride about themselves. Look, this is Thursday Night Football, the only NFL show in town. Spotlight's on you. It's hot, it's white, and it's bright. And I expected them to show up somewhat. Now, I did also say, though, that at some point they were going to wake up and realize, what are we doing? We're the Atlanta Falcons. We're 2-8. This team is way better than us. It's time for us to stop being competitive in this game and get blown out. But that never happened. That light switch never came on for the Saints, and the Falcons never shut it down. And this was a competitive game from start to finish. So let's see how this game unfolded and how we got to the result that we got to in this football game. 8-2 New Orleans Saints traveling to 2-8 Atlanta in what was supposed to be a huge NFC South showdown when this schedule was devised. Now we know that this is supposed to be an easy win for the Saints. Or is it? Falcons start the scoring in this football game with a Steven Jackson 1-yard touchdown plunge after a challenge of a Darius Johnson touchdown. It had to be overturned. They called it a touchdown on the field. It was not a touchdown. Knee was down before he stretched the ball over the plane of the goal line. So they reversed that. Steven Jackson takes care of it on the next play, jumps over into the end zone, 7-0 Atlanta. And I kind of knew after that first possession for the Saints, and they went 3 and out, and the Falcons got the football, and Matt Ryan took them down the field calmly, and they had a little bit of balance. Steven Jackson ran the ball effectively on that opening drive. He was hitting a lot of different receivers. I said, maybe, just maybe. And I never thought that the Saints would lose this game, but I said maybe, just maybe, the Falcons are going to try to scare me tonight because, as you all know, if you watched me on Wednesday, this was my sole survivor pick of the week. I said, take the Saints, run to the bank. These guys are going to get you to week 13 in your survivor pool. No way they lose on the road against this Atlanta football team. Now, again, it's family business. You know how I feel about that. I'm not going to go into all of that. If you watch the show, you know how I feel about it. But it was my sole survivor pick, so I don't want this to even be close. I want to be relaxed. I want to know that this game is well in hand so I don't have to endure another loss, which would be my third in a row, which is not even conceivable to me, okay? So this was a bad start for me. Again, I picked the Saints as my sole survivor pick in week number 12. So, okay, hey, I'm not panicking. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. 7-0 Falcons. This kind of put me at ease, okay? If Drew Brees and company went 3 and out once again, now I'd be a little nervous because Falcons have a little bit of confidence. They're leading in the game. They're getting the football back. Crowd's getting involved. Then I would have probably got a little nervous. But Drew said, hey, calm down. Relax. Don't hyperventilate. I got you, man. I got you. You picked us. You gave us the confidence that we're going to get it done. You have confidence in us. I'll repay you tenfold. Relax. said, all right, Drew, I lost 2 in a row, man. I need this one. He said, I got you. I said, okay. So Breeze and the Saints offense responds right away with a long, methodical drive as Benjamin Watson catches the ball in the back of the end zone, gets both feet down. On 3rd down, it's knotted up at 7. And for a second there, I thought, are the Saints going to really settle for a field goal this close to the end zone? Because you know the motto. You know the motto, and it's going to ring true in this game. And it usually rings true all around the National Football League each and every week. Every Sunday, every Monday, every Thursday. Field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. And if you can't score touchdowns when you get inside the 5, when you get into the red zone, you got to settle for field goals. You're normally going to end up on the short end of the stick if the other team is getting in the end zone. And so this was huge. This was a crucial possession because 7-7 sounds a lot better than 7-3. And so I was excited. Calmed me down a little bit to see Benjamin Watson come down with that football in the back of the end zone. This drive almost didn't happen, though. This touchdown almost didn't happen because there could have easily have been a pick. About 3, maybe 4 plays before that, Drew Brees tries to fit it in to Colston in the end zone. He's being defended by Desmond Trufant. And friendly fire, boy. There's nothing worse than some nasty, hard, friendly fire. And William Moore, heat-seeking missile, had no idea where his teammate was, nor did he care. He was looking to dislodge the football from somebody's hand. He didn't care if it was Marquise Colston's hand or if it just happened to be Desmond Trufant's hand. As long as somebody wasn't catching the ball, that's all William Moore cared about. And so his guy, Desmond Trufant, jumped the route, had the ball in his hands, and here comes William Moore looking to dislodge the football from somebody's hands. Turned out to be his own teammate, lit him up. He never even touched Colston on the play. He just lit Desmond Trufant up. And the ball came out. 4 or 5 plays later, the Saints are in the end zone. It's tied at 7. That's what bad teams do. Right there. Bad teams find ways to lose. And look, it's not always about turnovers or field position. Bad teams create ways to lose games. And that easily could have ended this drive, got the momentum squarely on the side of the Falcons. Instead, you knock the ball out of your teammate's hands. Don't even touch the receiver on the play. Couple plays later, they're in the end zone. It's knotted up at 7. That's what bad teams do. They find and create ways to make situations worse than they already are. This could have been a field goal. Could have been nothing. But he knocks the ball out of his teammate's hands. It ends up being a touchdown, 7-all in this game. Falcons move the ball down the field, but have to settle for a field goal after a sack. It's now 10-7. Atlanta. Let's talk about this one for a second because in this game, Matt Ryan was harassed. And I talked about this last week on the breakdown of the Tampa Bay Atlanta game when I talked about this offensive line being in flux and how Matt Ryan was probably his most uncomfortable he's ever been in his career behind this shoddy offensive line. It all started, and they talked about it during the telecast, Todd McClure, the longtime center. I mean, this guy was here since 99. I mean, that's what you call a stalwart on your football team. A guy that's been around, that's been through all the coaching tenures, has seen all there is to see in the National Football League, probably has had at least 5 or 6 different quarterbacks under center, and he had been there for all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly in Atlanta. And he retired. He said, I had enough, man. I'm done. It's been a nice ride, but it's been a long 14 years. I'm hanging him up. And so you take him out of the equation. No longer is that centerpiece there at center. Then you take Tyson Clabo out of the equation. And again, I don't want to make too much of Tyson Clabo at right tackle, but when you have a consistent offensive line, you got to make something of that line being shuffled around. And Tyson Clabo released in the offseason. He ends up in Miami. So now you got to replace 2 positions on this line. And maybe Peter Kahns is the guy you thought would be able to step in at center, but that hasn't been the case. And so you end up sticking Lamar Holmes at right tackle, and he was bad in the preseason. Really bad. And I said, oh, man, that's not good. And I went on a radio program, and I did a radio spot earlier in the season, before the season even started. And they asked me, who's your surprise team? What's the team that you think is going to disappoint that there's a lot of expectation for this year? And I said the Atlanta Falcons. And they said, whoa. And I said, I just don't like what I'm seeing on these lines, offensive and defensive line. I don't like what I'm seeing out of Lamar Holmes. He was giving up sacks in the preseason. Well, matters got worse. You have some injuries on this line, and you got to shuffle some guys around. Lamar Holmes has to go to left tackle now. And then you bring in Jeremy Trueblood off the street, essentially, right before, week 2 or something, and he has to start for you. I mean, it's a mess. And so this line has been just an atrocity this season. And last week you saw it against Tampa Bay. Gerald McCoy had a field day. This week it was even worse. The Saints absolutely collapsed this line. And Matt Ryan, when he didn't have time, it was extremes in this game. He either had time to throw, time to go through his progressions and make his reads and find the open receiver, or he had no time at all. It was one or the other. There was no in-between for him in this game. Either he was getting sacked or he had plenty of time to throw the football. But the sacks in this game proved to be large. They really loomed large in this game. Here's one of them impacting the game. Falcons moving the football down the field. They get a sack in an inopportune time, have to settle for a field goal. It's now 10-7. Remember, field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. Got to settle for a field goal here. It's 10-7. Atlanta up in this game, however. But Drew Brees makes quick work of the Falcons D on that very next possession as he and Jimmy Graham get nasty. And, I mean, they boom, bang, boom. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. They're in the end zone. Jimmy's dunking on the goalpost, leaning it over. They got to bring out the calibrating stick to make sure that it's at a balanced level. It's 14-10. And that's how quickly these guys can strike because Jimmy Graham is such a mismatch nightmare. I mean, there's not a better tight end in the league to me right now catching the football than Jimmy Graham. There are some other guys that can get it done, but for my money, the size, the strength, the hands, the athletic ability, the deceptive speed, it's all in one nice package with Jimmy Graham. I don't think you can get that anywhere else. And he was dominant in this game. Another 100-yard receiving game for Jimmy Graham. Another touchdown grab as well. So he's just having a phenomenal season. It's what Jimmy Graham does when he's healthy. And even when he wasn't healthy, he was still putting up big numbers. This guy is an animal. And so it's 14-10. Now New Orleans takes the lead. And at this point, I thought they were going to run away. I thought this is the juncture of the game where the Falcons, they showed the stat that the Falcons have been dominated in the second quarter of the season. And I thought this was going to be a second quarter that saw them fall to the wayside, saw the Saints run away with this game. And by the half, this score would be something like 24-10. And the Saints would come out in the second half and, run the score up to like 34-17. And this game would be out of hand by, midway through the fourth quarter. That's what I thought was about to happen. But no, this is NFC South football. This is family business. This is Falcons. This is Saints. I know you. You know me. I know what you want to do before you do it. You just have to out-execute me. And it doesn't help that Darren Sproles wasn't in this game. So, you take away some of the different elements that the Saints have and some of the dangers that they pose. You don't have Sproles on punts and kickoffs. You don't have him out of the backfield catching screens and taking draw handoffs and things of that nature. So, and look, if anybody has enough backs to offset an injury, it's the New Orleans Saints. Nobody keeps a stable of backs like the New Orleans Saints. So he was missed, but they had guys that could pick up the slack, no doubt about it. So Falcons settle for another field goal, this time on a slide by Matt Ryan on third down. It's 14-13. This was a little controversial in Atlanta. The crowd didn't like it at all. Look, you're 2-8, okay? Why do you want to see your franchise quarterback sell out, give his body up, possibly get a concussion and get injured, RG3 style, or Robert Griffin III style? Why would you want to see your quarterback put his body on the line? You're 2-8. You're probably not going to win this game. And look, I know you can't say that you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, but it wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. If this is the NFC Championship game, I don't want him sliding. I want him selling out, giving me all he's got, and getting a John Elway-like propeller hit where he spins, but he picks up the first down or the touchdown in this case. But in a game where you're 2-8, you're playing against an 8-2 football team, it's a meaningless game in week number 12. No. Slide, take the field goal, hope you score more points and win the game. And he did the right thing. I'm not mad at him for this. It made no sense for him to lay his body out on the line and possibly get injured. Two Saint defenders were just chomping at the bit, hoping he decided to do something stupid so they could absolutely wallop and melee him at the goal line. He would have never made it in, and he would have took a hellacious shot for even trying to do something dangerous and daring. So he did the right thing there. Take the field goal. You're down 1. Look, 13 points isn't going to beat anybody. 14 points shouldn't beat you. Neither should 17. If you're a good NFL football team, 17 points doesn't beat you. You make a team beat you with more than 17 points. So at this point at 14-13, you should be able to score more points. You're still in the first half. Plenty of football to go. This play shouldn't make or break this game. Then it's a muscle drive by the Saints. An absolute type of drive. Pierre Thomas, and I call him the MUP, the MUP of the National Football League. Most underrated player. There's to me, not a better complete back in this league than Pierre Thomas. Never gets enough credit. You start talking about all the backs that can do this and do that in this league, and you got specialist backs. You got, Adrian Peterson, hell of a back, got speed, has power, can run the football. He's not a great receiver, though. I mean, he can catch the ball, but he doesn't have great hands. You don't want to throw Adrian Peterson the ball too often. He's not a great receiver. It's not what he does best. You look at Chris Johnson. He can catch the football. He can run. Not the most powerful guy, though. Not the best vision. You look around the league, and there's backs that do some of everything, but nobody does everything like Pierre Thomas to me. I mean, Pierre can catch it. You need him to block. You need pass pro. Pierre can sit back there and block for you on third downs. You need a handoff. You need somebody to run with power in between the tackles. Give it to Pierre Thomas. I mean, how many times in this game was it 3rd and 15, 2nd and 15, 1st and 15, 2nd and 20, and Pierre rips off a tough, nasty 17-yard run, picks up a first down, or makes it 3rd and short. I mean, this guy is everything you want in a back, and nobody talks about Pierre Thomas. That's why he's my MUP, most underrated player in the National Football League. Give me Pierre Thomas any day of the week. You can have all the backs you like. You can have whoever you like. Yeah. Give me Pierre Thomas. Because I know when I need something to be done, Pierre Thomas is going to do it. And so Pierre, muscle run on this drive. It was 1st and 15 after a penalty. Pierre rips off a 17-yard run, picks up the first down. No problem. Pierre's the man. And he broke about 3 tackles on the way to doing that. Then Jimmy Graham catches a crosser, going across the field, breaks 2 tackles, gets up the sideline, and is just bulldozing through defenders, running through guys until they finally push him out of bounds 15 yards later. And so just a muscle drive. They don't get in the end zone, however. They have to settle for a field goal. But points come at a premium. When you're playing a bad team, the more points you can score, the better off you are. So now it's in 17-13 lead. Saints are up in this football game. So now we fast forward to the 4th quarter, and this is when things are getting very interesting. You got the Falcons driving down the field. An impressive drive. Ryan is spreading the ball around to all his receivers. They're mixing in a sprinkle of runs here and there just to keep the Saints defense honest. They're in the red zone at this point. They're looking to score points. And even if they come out of this thing with a field goal, it'll be a 1-point game. And more importantly, a field goal wins you this football game now. So at least, if nothing else, you come out of this situation and this deal with the field goal, you got to feel like you got a legitimate shot at winning this game. But if you're the Falcons, forget about the field goal. Field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. Get a touchdown here. You'll take the lead, and you'll put the pressure squarely back on the shoulders of the Saints. And again, they're on the road. They probably didn't expect, maybe they did expect to be in a dogfight. They know this Falcons team wasn't going to lay down for them, but they probably expected to come in here and dominate. And now they're in for a dogfight, and here they are. Falcons move the football all the way into the red zone of the New Orleans Saints. Huge fumble by Darius Johnson, however. Great play by Keontae Dawson as he strips the football away from Darius Johnson. Dawson smacks it out of there. It's recovered by Corey White at the 12-yard line of the Saints. You dodged the bullet there. New Orleans absolutely created the turnover of the game, and there hadn't been a turnover in this game to this point. Huge play by the Saints defense, and this is what they've done all season long. This is why they haven't given up over 20 points, but only one time this year, because they've been able to force teams into mistakes, and they've been able to stop teams from getting in the end zone, much like they did in this game. And so this defense has rose to the occasion, 7 or 8 times this year when the offense hadn't been getting it done and scoring a whole bunch of points. They've been the difference this year. This is why this Saints team is dangerous this year. This is why it's different in 2013. This is why they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender, because they play defense now. In the past, they had to score 34 points to win and hope that you didn't score 37. They can score 20 points and beat you now because the defense is good enough. And so their only issue now is, can they stay healthy? Guys are falling and dropping left and right. They can just manage to stay relatively healthy. It's a dangerous Saints football team. And that fumble was huge in this game. However, even after the fumble, Falcons still have a shot in this game. Falcons get a crucial stop and get the ball back with a chance to win. Matt Ryan gets busy and gets right to work, finds Roddy White on third down, then Tony Gonzalez twice. Then he gets Harry Douglas involved to get into Saints territory, but then takes a sack. Here we go again. And he was sacked 5 or 6 times. Whatever it was a season high for him in this game. He was harassed. Akeem Hicks, monster game. I mean, he's such a big presence on that defensive line. Like I said, most teams struggle, and I say this all the time. Most teams struggle when they make the transition from a 4-3 to a 3-4 defense in that first year. The reason why the Saints haven't had that struggle, didn't have, and I call it a mandatory year of struggle. Reason they haven't been subjected to that is because they already had 3-4 personnel on their team. It's like they already knew they were going to be making the switch at some point. To me, Cameron Jordan is made for the 5 technique in a 3-4 defense. Akeem Hicks, a guy you drafted 2 years ago, before you were in a 3-4 defense, is a perfect fit. I mean, look at this guy. He's a big brick house. And he was just destroying the offensive line of the Atlanta Falcons in this game, driving their guards and tackles back into the lap of Matt Ryan and, I mean, Julian Gillette and company. Guys were getting to the quarterback. And they sacked him 5 or 6 times. No sack bigger than this one, as it was 2nd and 10. Falcons threatening, moving the football. They have rhythm, kind of hurrying up the tempo a little bit. Well, that slowed them down. On 2nd and 10, you get the sack. You force 3rd and 15. They can't convert. Have to settle for a field goal attempt. You blitz on 3rd down and force the issue. Ryan can't get the ball out of his hands quick enough and to find a receiver open, has to throw it away. And so now it's 4th and 15. Instead of going for it on 4th and 15, they're still in field goal range. They elect to send Matt Bryant, and this guy has been as sure-footed as you can get in the league probably over the last 3 or 4 seasons. And so you felt confident sending him out to connect from 52, to cut it to a 1-point game and give yourself a chance. With all 3 of your timeouts left and the 2-minute warning, you get a stop, you'll get the football back with a chance to win. And this time all you'll need is a field goal to win this football game. So I don't go against the logic here of Mike Smith. A lot of people question whether if it's 4th and 7, if it's 4th and 3, yeah, go for it. But it's 4th and 15. You don't have many plays in your playbook for 4th and 15. You kick the field goal. That was the smart thing to do. With all your timeouts left and the 2-minute warning, that was the smart thing to do. And I think, if not, and look, this is where coaching comes into play. This is why Sean Payton was missed last year. I talked to so many people last year that wanted to discount the importance of Sean Payton on the sideline. I said, are you crazy? This man is probably worth 6 victories by himself. And I know that's a huge number in this league. A Saints team that went 7-9 a season ago, you put Sean Payton on the sidelines last year, and that's probably an 11 or 12 win football team. He makes that big of a difference. Best in-game adjustment coach offensively in the league, as well as a guy that's not afraid to take risks, and he makes a lot of smart decisions. Oh, thought I was having some technical difficulty. Sorry, and he makes smart decisions, and so I think that Sean Payton is a wonderful coach, and he makes a huge difference. And this is where you see that difference paying off right here, huge dividends. Right as and a lot of coaches don't do this anymore. I mean, it was a fad. You know, the league is full of fads and trends. They come, they go. You know, it's a copycat league. Everybody was doing the whole icing the kicker thing. it became a phenomenon. You wait till the kicker is about to kick it. You go by the official. You call a timeout. He kicks it and throws off his rhythm and timing. You make him do it again. If they make the kick, so what? They made it. Now they got to make it again. If they missed the kick, maybe you look like an egghead. And if they knock the kick home the second time, so what? Okay? You tried it. It didn't work. So be it. But if it does work, and to me, this is a risk-reward thing where the risk is so much lower than the reward. You got to try it. The reward is so much higher. It's so much greater. So nobody really does this anymore. Like I said, it was a fad. It came, it went. Sean Payton calmly walks over to the official right as Matt Bryant is about to get a chance to kick this football. Right as they're going to snap it, he ices a timeout. Official calls a timeout. Bryant goes through. Kickers hate having their kicks be delayed or they can't stop their motion. Once they take off and the ball is down, they got to kick it. It's a psychological thing. It's a psyche thing. So Matt Bryant strikes the ball, knocks it right down the pipe. He's like, hey, what happened? They blew the whistle. They say, hey, timeout, Saints. This is a beautiful timeout. If he makes the kick, okay, so what? He made the kick. He made it again. That's what you want him to do. Make it again. Prove it to me. Make it again. And so they line up, and you're thinking, well, Matt Bryant's been money for the Falcons. And he's going to knock it down again. And he comes out, and sure enough, that's what great coaching can do for you. He hooks the kick left. It starts down the middle. And just like his previous kick started at that left upright. And then it kind of did this little wobble thing, like a knuckle thing, and then it went straight down the middle. Well, this kick started down the middle, did the little knuckleball swivel thing, and went left. Hooked left. He misses the kick. Wow, what a timeout by Sean Payton. No points for the Falcons. Now you got to hope you get a stop, and you still need a touchdown. That was the whole point of not going for it, getting a field goal and putting yourself in a position to have to win this game with only a field goal. And I think Michael Irvin said it best. I love this. I'm going to steal this from him. From now on, I'm going to use this. I forgot what he said that quick. Let me think for a second. He said something about hope dictating outcome, something like that. I have to go back and watch it because I thought it was fabulous. But he said something like hope dictates outcome. Oh, no. I know what he said. He said hope dictates effort. I couldn't agree with him more. That missed field goal demoralized the Falcons. It let all of the air out of that stadium. It let all of the air out of the players. You see that field goal go left of the upright, and all of your hopes of winning this game go out the window, essentially. You were feeling like, hey, we get this field goal, defense goes out and get a stop. We're moving the football. We're going to win this game. And then you see that field goal not go through the uprights, and it's like, oh, man. Now you go back out on the field, and the Saints run the football down their throat. Perfectly timed play action fake again. Here's Sean Payton pulling the strings. He's such a great puppet master. And second down after a nice run on first down by Pierre Thomas. Play action fake. Falcons bite down on it hard. Wide open. Robert Meacham. That essentially ices the game there. But again, Falcons still have all their timeouts. 2-minute warning. So you still got to run the football and make them use their timeouts and pick up one more first down. One more first down to do it. And sure enough, a combination of Pierre Thomas and my muck, most underrated player in the league, rips off a 9-yard run or so. Then you get Ingram in there, and they finish this thing off, take a couple of knees, and then they essentially give the football back to the Falcons with about 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock. Game's over. As the New Orleans Saints get it done 17-13 on the road. I didn't expect it to be this close. I really didn't. I can't sit here and act as if I did. I thought this was going to be a cakewalk for the Saints, but I should have known better because it's Thursday night football, home game, national television, spotlight, white hot light. They don't want to be embarrassed. They're already 2-8 on the season as it is. They were going to show up and try to give the Saints their best shot. And just like last year, last year the Saints were down and the Falcons took advantage and beat them twice. This year, beat them once because the Saints still took care of business in New Orleans. But this was a Thursday night game last year, if you remember. Saints came into Atlanta, couldn't do enough, lost the game something like 20-10 or 23-13, something of that nature. And This was a little bit of payback for that. Last year, Saints were down. Falcons took advantage. This year, Falcons aren't a good team. Saints said, hey, we'll be the ones taking advantage of you this time. They go in, get the win 17-13. Again, hard-fought victory. I don't think this was a matter, because I talked about this on my show, of overlooking. This was a trap game. And I don't think this was a matter of the Saints overlooking the Falcons. I just think this was a Falcons team that was game, that was ready to compete and try to win this football game. They don't want the Saints to win anything. They don't want the Saints to be able to say, we're the NFC South champions. So they were trying to give them their best shot and win that football game. And the Saints did what they've been doing all season long. Play some really good quality defense, force a turnover at the most inopportune time. And offensively, they do just enough to get it done. No Sproles in this game had an impact, on them offensively, but they still got it done. And so they win this game. They go to 9-2 on the season. Falcons drop to 2-9. And I talked about this team, and I probably had a poor choice of words when I said that this team quit on Mike Smith. They haven't quit on him in this season. That was a poor choice. That was a poor choice of words by myself. Not so much as quit. They're just defeated. This isn't a good team. When you're a bad team, when you're 2-9, you find ways to lose. That's what bad teams do. They find a way to lose. When the good teams, like the Saints in this game, find a way to win, when you're a winning football team, you have a winning attitude. The Falcons know all about it. That's how they went 13-3 a season ago, because they found ways to win. When Matt Ryan threw 4 picks against the Raiders last year, they found a way to win. When Matt Ryan threw 4 or 5 picks versus Arizona last year, they found a way to win, because good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. Well, it's the same principle here. And now the shoe is on the other foot. The Falcons are the bad team, and they're going to find a way to lose. And the Saints are a really good football team, and they're going to find a way to win. Darius Johnson fumbles the football. Saints force the issue. They find a way to win. Falcons find a way to lose. They give up a sack that forces them to have to kick a field goal on 4th and 15 and miss the field goal. They find a way to lose this game, and that's what happened. So thank you for joining me here on this Thursday night breakdown. Week number 12 was kicked off with a really good football game. Saints at Falcons. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. I really wanted to talk about the Saints and this upcoming schedule. It's so big. The game up against, I had a backstory and everything that I wanted to tell you, but I've kept you here long enough, so I'm just going to get out of here. I've talked way longer than I intended to, so I'll let you go, and maybe I'll bring this up at a later date and time, but this was a good football game. Saints find a way to get it done. So that's going to kick off week number 12 in the National Football League.